All right. And then our second presentation this evening is from our Youth Advisory Committee that's sitting in the third row. And I'd like to invite up Sean Carson, who's the chair.
Sean, I just want to say that I've been working with the Youth Advisory Committee since we've had them in place, and they're doing an excellent job. These are some of the most serious-minded and well-intended and gifted youth I've worked with in many, many years, and I'm just proud that they can be here today. Are you going to announce who they are, the names?
So I was going to do a quick announcement. This is Amy.
We need the mic. Yeah.
It's on? All right. Here, yeah, I'll just pass it down the line. I'm Sean, by the way.
Hi, I'm Amy.
Hello, I'm Roy Zakut.
Lily.
Akshay.
Ursula. Elle.
And we had a couple members who couldn't be here tonight. Tuesday is our normal night to actually meet. So, yeah, we had a couple time conflicts. So we're a little short-handed tonight, but we still have enough people to present.
You're going to be the first person doing a presentation on our new equipment. Yeah.
So the youth meet every the fourth Tuesday of the month from 7 to 9 p.m. and we discuss issues that are that concern the town of Princeton and the youth population. And they've done so many items. I'm sure that they'll show you some things that they've done. This is the first group. And also, Joe Maroli is here. He's in the back. He's one of our youth advisors also. And he works with us. He's representative of the Recreation Department. And we also have Jackie Schreiber, and now we have Fred Williams from the Police Department. They all assist with the youth during their meetings on the fourth Tuesday. Well, thank you. I'm really enjoying this new mic. I may take it home.
People who are going to present with me, if that's okay. So those of you who were.
And just so everyone knows, you have to speak in the mic because it's televised, and all your friends and family will be looking at you guys, smiling. So you have to use the mic so we can hear you. Thank you so much.
Perfect. So yeah, Princeton Youth Advisory Committee. This is our progress and projections report, if I dare call it that. And this is a fairly cringy photo of all of us at our first meeting thing in the summer. Okay, thank you for getting that off the screen. So our original goals when we were established were to, one, gauge the interest of teens towards certain issues and what they thought were the most important, what they thought were less important. And we wanted to do that just so that we took the people we were representing into account for all of our future decisions. Secondly, we wanted to establish the Youth Advisory Committee with the community and with other groups that could help us along the way with whatever we were doing.
Yeah, so for the for the past project, our first item on the agenda was to gauge where students wanted us to put our efforts into. So we sent out a survey across 4 different schools. So between Princeton High School, Hunn, PDS, and Stewart. and we collected 471 responses. The questions that we asked was basically, what initiative would you like to see implemented in our community? And the options were mental health, a better integration of mental health, awareness into the school curriculum and associated activities, physical health, improved athletic recreational facilities and informational sessions regarding nutrition, community building, including inter-school bonding programs and events, and low-income students, increasing awareness of resources for low-income students, and then finally policing, so events that better promote relations between community police and youth. So just some takeaways from that diagram and from all the responses. We accrued 471 responses across the 4 different high schools. And the first, most popular response at 44% were students wanting to see initiatives that addressed mental health within their schools and curriculums and peer programs. And then following that was at 12%, they wanted to see initiatives that focus on athletic and recreational facilities. And then at 10.5%, we had low-income initiatives for students in that regard. So one of the things that we first did was we created a subcommittee in order to expand the resource awareness for students at Princeton High School, at Hutton, PDS, and the other high schools in the area. So we made a subcommittee of just students who worked on a guide of resources for high school students on various programs like the Jack Kent Scholarship Program or the Gates Millennium Scholarship. So basically there's a description of what each program does, and it kind of summarizes and allows the student to have a very compiled list of events and programs that they can use. So it includes scholarships, free counseling, free tutoring and support programs at the library, food bank and pantry locations, and sites that help with college preparation. And the above is just a screenshot. So in the future, we hope to get this distributed at guidance counselors so that they can give it to their students, and for students who qualify for lower reduced free lunches. Not only that, but we hope to get it in the library as well as on the human department resources list so that other students can access it.
So we began our mental health initiative at Friday Night Live, the a cappella night sponsored by Corner House at the Princeton Public Library. And we set up an anti-stress wall. So here's some pictures from that event. So what did it do? We were able to introduce ourselves in front of the audience and the performers, and we let them know what we were doing by setting up the anti-stress wall. So you could put up a sticky note with a stressor or something that makes you stressed, and then put up another sticky note next to that sticky note with what makes you feel less stressed. So what we gathered from some of this information was that high school students are stressed about things such as, this is a big one, college admissions, and then standardized tests, homework, schoolwork, and then finally sports and extracurriculars. And then some positives. So at the same time, the anti-stress wall raised awareness of stress relievers that students can utilize, such as reading, participating in clubs, creating art, and doing personal hobbies.
So a major thing as a youth advisory committee, we discussed about reaching out to other organizations. And since our main issue was mental health, we decided to implement a program or some sort of study that high schoolers could learn about mental health. And we discussed this with a PHS psychologist, Dr. Rosenfeld, and some peer group leaders at PHS. And we also, in collaboration with Corner House and the student councils from both PHS and HUN, and also the teen advisory board from the library, they all aided us in the anti-stress wall at Friday Night Live, and we were through all these organizations we were able to get ourselves out there and let everyone know that we had started an initiative on mental health.
So some of our future initiatives that we're planning at the moment include 2 mental health forums that we hope to do in the spring. One would be targeted towards students, in which we would present ourselves as well as bring in some mental health professionals and some students to present about their own experiences regarding mental health, the struggle, and the recovery of that experience. So one would be targeted towards students, and another would be targeted towards parents. So that would include something like prevention of mental health, or how to best deal with it when your child or any child shows signs of a mental illness. So in planning this, we've reached out to peer group and Team PEP, and luckily we found that the superintendent is already working on revising the curriculum for Team PEP and including more mental health. So we hope to communicate with him more on that and put in our own ideas and collaborate with him. So because we're not mental health professionals, we look to get some more opinions on it. So we've connected with the Stewart and PDS student governments to hopefully spread our influence over there, and the Minority Student Achievement Network, which is a club at PHS, as well as Princeton House, so that we can all collaborate together and be a stronger force.
Yes, so that pretty much concludes our presentation, and if there are any questions or comments, we'd be more than happy to field them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Ms.
Can I-
Butler.
I don't,
Sure.
this is open to anybody. I was just going to ask, were you surprised by the results of your survey? And how many young people are stressed out?
You know what? We were very surprised. We were surprised with, first of all, how many responses we actually got with this.
That's a lot.
Because talking with some of the liaisons for PHS at least, they normally get around 80, and that's a very liberal number of responses per survey. Secondly, we were very surprised that 44% of respondents chose mental health as the biggest issue for teens right now. That is just an overwhelming majority, and we saw that, and we know that that's something that we really should be focusing on.
When did you send out the survey?
We sent out the survey November, I believe. Amy is looking at that right
It's
now.
all a stressful time, but I was just trying to see whether there was a correlation. I don't know when you could send it out that wouldn't be stressful, but
Yeah,
maybe after college acceptances come in,
maybe.
you'd get a different result.
October? Yeah, it was sent out in October, I guess. So,
And do you feel that there are adequate resources? You obviously have a path forward and some things, recommendations you're going to make and resources you're going to call upon, but do you feel like it's an adequate amount of support for the things that are stressing high schoolers?
so we feel like there potentially is an adequate amount of resources, but the big problem is not a lot of these resources are utilized by all teens in Princeton. A big thing is there's just an overall stigma towards mental health, and people don't necessarily look for help when they really should be looking for help.
Do you think if there were things that were integrated into the curriculum where everyone sort of had to participate on a level that it might be more effective?
So that's getting into sort of a tricky subject. We know for health class, for example, you'd think that's theoretically everyone having to participate in a mental health thing, but we found that the way the health classes do mental health really doesn't register as well as it optimally would with students. Yep.
And currently, I'm pretty sure the health curriculum at Princeton High School doesn't touch upon mental health. Like we go over substance abuse, like nutrition and everything else, but mental health isn't actually explicitly addressed. But that's just speaking as under experiences as a junior in Princeton High School. I still have like senior year to see if health teachers do that, but I'm pretty sure that they don't. I know that peer group tries to touch upon subjects like stress and potentially like disorders and things like that, but it's never very thorough. So in that regard, like mental health really isn't addressed at Princeton High School or possibly at other high schools as well. And in regards to stress, I feel like there's like a certain culture at Princeton High School that kind of fosters the competitiveness that ends up driving like a lot of the stress that exists at schools. So students are taking classes that they are not adequately prepared for because they want to have that accelerated class under their transcript and things like that.
Who are your council members who aren't here tonight? Could you mention them by name? And could you also identify the schools that you're from?
The slide of the photos? Okay, yeah. Yeah, we'll actually go to a slide with a photo of all of us so we can just point, if that's easier, because not everyone is here right now.
Because you liked that photo, didn't you?
Yeah, it's my favorite photo. Yeah. So on the bottom left, that's Leah. She goes to Princeton High School. She is a sophomore. Junior, I misspoke. I'm sorry. Next to her is Jared, who goes to PDS. He is a sophomore. He's not a.
He's a junior now.
Oh, he's a junior now. I I shouldn't be presenting. Wow, I don't know. All right, so next to him is Akshay, who he is a sophomore. I'm positive now he is a sophomore. Then that's me. I'm a senior. Isaiah is also a senior at PHS. Sorry. Lily is a junior at Hun. Eli is a sophomore at PHS. Elle is a junior at PHS. Luis is a senior at PHS. Roe is a sophomore at PHS. Amy is a junior at PHS. Sorry, took your thunder. And that's Ursula, who is a senior at PHS.
Thank you.
If I could just applaud you on your work around mental health and urge you to continue, and if you need more resources, feel free to communicate that to Lance. And in the meantime, people who are stressed about college, I would suggest what I think is one of the best books written about this process. It's called Where You Go Is Not Who You'll Be, and it's by a guy named Frank Bruni. And all copies are out right now, Princeton Public Library, but I highly recommend that anyone who's applying and their parents read this book. It's called, the subtitle is An Antidote to the College Admissions Mania. And I think that we do our youth a disservice if we don't point out that, that getting into the good college is not the be-all and end-all of everything, and that sometimes you wind up in the place that's right for you. So,
If you're too busy to read the book, you can just Google Frank Bruni, because he's written extensively on it in the New York Times. You can read the short column.
Can I just also say, I'm sorry, I know we have to move on.
Yes.
That if you can send us the electronic copy of the presentation, so we can have that. And also, it's amazing how these young people are thinking about others and not just themselves. That's something that really, really touches me, because we're all here serving the community, and these are our next community leaders, and they're doing such a fine job. So I'm just thankful to be working with them. I know Joe's thankful to be working with you guys, and we want you guys to keep up. Keep on keeping on. And what a great presentation. I mean, it's really, I'm telling you, it was excellent. I'm just so proud of you guys. So thank you.
Thanks, Lance. Huh? Sure, if you could. And actually, one more comment. We probably will be needing resources in the future for the forums we're doing, so thanks for bringing that up.
Well,
And yeah, that's pretty much the end of our presentation.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.